Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good weekend, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, where to briefly summarise what happened in the last episode, I came across a family living in the ruins of a forester's hut, in the middle of a forest. Turns out they were refugees from the village of Messalis, which doesn't exist anymore. It's now just a point of interest on the map, known as Burned Messalis, because the village had the extreme misfortune to be, well, one, in the way of Sigismund's army, and two, defended by the worst mercenaries in all of Bohemia, who took one look at what was coming, packed their bags, grabbed their loot and ran for the hills. So Mikush the tailor and his family managed to escape the burning of their village with nothing but the clothes on their back, and they've been slowly starving to death in a abandoned and ruined forester's hut in the middle of the forest. Mikush has been heading into the nearby village in order to perform odd jobs and do repairs on people's clothing. And he's been supplementing what little cash he's been able to raise by playing dice, something that he is apparently quite good at. But this is where his problems began, because one night his luck ran out and he ran out of money too. But he started letting everybody know that he had a buried inheritance back in Messalis and he could repay any money that they would loan him to allow him to get back into the game. Now, oh, hang on a second. Are those bandits on the... Yeah, I don't have time for this. Actually, maybe I should intervene. We're about to rob that guy. No, it looks like they've already killed him. All right. And I really don't have time for this, which, well, for reasons that I'm in the process of explaining. Mikush flapping his lips about his buried inheritance back in Messalis was not the greatest idea, although his luck did, again, change and he started winning at dice enough to repay back all the money that people had owed him. But he was not the only survivor of Messalis. His nephew Hanko apparently also escaped. Fell in with a bunch of bandits, apparently became the leader of the bunch of bandits, and when he heard that his uncle Mikush was still alive, and more importantly, knew where the buried inheritance was, had Mikush kidnapped, tortured, forced to reveal that it was in fact Mikush's wife who buried the treasure, and only Mikush's wife who knew where it was, which is why I am proceeding with all speed back to the forest hut to try to get there ahead of Hanko and his thugs. Unfortunately, but somewhat amusingly, it is at this point where the game engine does kind of break itself a little bit, and my sturdy horse Pisek lad here starts to think that he's actually the main character. So sorry, but it is kind of funny.
Let her go immediately.
Take another step, and I'll slit her throat.
I do know that Hanko is kind of soft on his cousin Vendula.
I know your secret. You don't want to hurt Vendula because you love her.
That's not true.
It's not? What about that time at the feast? When she danced with you and you couldn't stop talking about her after?
No.
Drat told me everything. How girls don't find you attractive, how you're just a hired hand. But Vendula showed you that's not true.
She was just leading me on, playing a joke.
No one has to die because of a joke, do they? Let her go. And let's talk this over peacefully.
Praise be to God.
Look, I know it doesn't look good, but I was in the right. The money they hid, it belongs to me. It's my inheritance.
I don't understand. You'll have to explain it to me.
My grandfather, old Svatosh, was rich. He worked the fields all around Messalis. He built a beautiful house. He had many children, but only 2 daughters made it into adulthood. Svatova and my mother, Ludmila. When he was dying, he fucked my mother over and gave the house and all his money to Svatova and that tailor of hers.
You know what that is? Unfucking lucky.
It was his property. He had the right to decide who would inherit it.
He had no fucking right. Svatosh hated my father. He was just your average poor commoner, but that wasn't good enough for his high and mighty self. Svatova and Mikush got married off in Kutenberg at the church of St. Peter and Pavel. But did they invite my parents? I was still little, but I remember he treated us like dirt. And not just him. We barely had any proper food to eat. Pa had to go work in the mines at Horsham for a few groschen. He ended up trapped under rubble there. He died a cripple. After that, no one even moved a finger to help us. Not Svatava, not Mikush, no one.
You're damn lucky I came in time to help, Mikush. Things might have ended up much worse.
I only wanted justice. Nothing more.
Well, it sounds to me like you wanted money. And also to fuck your cousin, you dirty bastard. Now, I can probably resolve this peacefully. But I don't really want to.
Enough talk.
Be reasonable. No one died in the end.
I said, enough talk.
You were about to kill your cousin to get your hand on your aunt's money.
You've done much evil. And why? Only to satisfy your greed. You won't leave here before receiving punishment.
We'll see who gets the bigger punishment.
So fuck this guy. And we're done here. What the fuck is that horse doing now? How am I going to get it out of the doorway? Seriously, this horse thinks it's the player. It's got a serious case of main character syndrome. Oh, come on, that's not... Well, I mean, it is kind of funny. But maybe if I... Am I going to have to fuck off and then call him over? Yeah, that works. All right. Ah, he's a good boy. He's just a fucking idiot. Right, anyway. I suspect we're probably not actually done here.
You both alright?
My sweet Vendula, did he hurt you?
I'm all right, Ma.
Thank God. Thanks for the rescue, Henry. And what about my husband? Did you find him?
I did. Hanko was keeping him in his camp. He was nearly a goner, but I managed to treat his wounds.
His wounds? My God. What did those bastards do to him?
Well, they didn't treat him nicely, that's for sure. But he'll tell you himself. He's on his way back now.
Hanko, that bastard. I hope he'll pay for all his crimes.
He's paid for his crimes. He won't hurt anyone ever again.
Some weeds just have to be pulled out before it's too late, as Ma used to say.
Hanko didn't end up killing anyone.
Oh, stop talking nonsense. Every criminal deserves a just punishment. And I thought seeing my own home burned to the ground was the worst thing.
We've gone through a lot, Ma. So much suffering. We have to leave this place. Get as far away as possible, as soon as possible.
Wait. Did you hear something?
I don't hear anything.
There! Again! Someone's outside. Jesus! It's those bandits! There must have been more of them.
Ma, take it easy. I don't hear anything.
Henry, go and have a look.
It's probably Mikush. I mean... I literally just told you he was on his way back. Fine, whatever. What did I tell you?
It's not the bandits. Look who's come home.
Mikush!
Pa!
You made it here quickly.
I came as fast as I could. I nearly gave up the ghost. I was so worried about the two of you.
I'm so glad you survived. That horrible Hanko tried to kill us.
I know. All because of the inheritance. He went absolutely mad.
If it weren't for Henry, he'd have killed Vendula. And then me.
That lunatic. Who would have guessed that about him? He used to be a good lad.
Well, that good lad is gone for good. Henry sent him straight to hell.
Well, I suppose it's for the best. I'm awfully knackered. I need to lie down for a bit. Will you help me?
Of course, Pa. Come and rest inside.
I reckon you're hungry too. Vendula, Give him some gruel. It should still be warm.
All right. Come on, Pa. Carefully.
And the two of us should have a word.
Sounds like somebody wants to send me back to the village to dig up this inheritance. I'll just wash all the blood off first. Because the village... I actually rode through the village on the way to find Hanko's bandit camp. And there were some... I don't know if there were bandits or hostile soldiers in there.
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to thank you for everything. You saved our entire family.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
As you might have figured out, everything that happened was all because of our inheritance, which I hid from the soldiers in Merciless. I understand you've done everything you can for us, but I wanted to ask if you could go and get it for us. You're a strong, capable man, and you don't scare easy, and it'll be worth your efforts. Trust me.
All right, I'll look for it. But you'll have to tell me where I'll find it.
Listen, I'll tell you everything. My memory's not as good as it once was. Our house is the third one on the right when you follow the main road towards Visoka. Anyone entering the village goes by our house. Must have been about 2 days before the tragedy. The neighbor boy ran over and started yelling about how something was coming, that he'd heard it from the patrol on the road. No one believed him, not even his pa. After all, why would soldiers attack a monastery village, one far from their camp? It didn't make any sense. That night, though, I had a strange dream. I tried to put out a fire, but the more water I poured on it, the bigger the flames got. So I decided to hide all our valuables. Only I couldn't do it during the day. I was worried someone would see me. I put all of it in a chest, loaded it onto a handcart, and waited till nightfall.
Continue.
When night fell, I snuck out the back of our house with the handcart, making my way through the hole in the fence next to the compost heap. Mikush was supposed to fix that hole a long time ago, but as good as he is with a needle and thread, well, when it comes to other work, you can forget about it. At least it made things easier for me. First, I headed right. Then I turned left, up the path, around the neighbor's barn. It's outside his fence. I had to stop there, because the neighbor's little brat was still awake and wandering around. Fortunately, he didn't see me. So I kept going past a low wall where two paths cross. There, I went left. Once I was safely out of the village, a dog started barking at me, so I had to pick up the pace. Instead of turning right down the path, I went straight into the field there. That handcart was damned heavy, and it was rough going off the path. I crossed the field, making it to the woods, but the wheel got stuck there. I couldn't go any further, and it was pitch black. I lit a lantern and dug a pit to fit that chest. Took me forever. When I was done, I could barely walk straight. The sun was coming up. I left the handcart and shovel there and went back the way I came. I hope those directions are good enough for you to find it.
They are shit, and I'll be wandering around lost for hours.
That's all I need. I'll go and find your inheritance. I'm going for the inheritance. I hope it's still there.
I'm sure it is. No one would ever think to look where it's hidden. Me, Vendula, and Mikush will wait here for you.
Now, fortunately, you're not expected to remember every single one of those directions. The game handles this kind of thing in a pretty sensible and intelligent way. All you really need to remember is the first direction. And then when you get to that, if you're in the right spot, Henry will say, oh yeah, this is the spot. From here I was supposed to, and he'll repeat whatever the next instruction was. So you really just need to find the first location.
Quick!
Anyway, this is the village, and she said her house was the third one on the road as you approached the village from the direction of Visoka. And it was pretty big for 3 people, and this looks like it.
This is where Mikush's family lived. It's a pretty big house for 3 people. I reckon they had a lot to be jealous of.
Oh, something attacked me. What? Oh, wild dog. Well, I mean, technically it's a wild dog. More likely it's feral. Probably used to belong to one of the villagers. Poor bugger's been hanging around, scavenging whatever it can eat. And it's not going to take the hint and fuck off. I have to kill it. Damn it. Hang on, still in combat. Is there another one? No? No, we're good. And again, the fact that it was alone, another indication that it was feral rather than wild. Wild dogs hang around in packs. Feral dogs will too, if you give them half a chance. You know, they're social. Dogs are social creatures, but poor bugger was probably the only survivor of the village. Anyway, where to now? Because normally you'd get to the first point and then Henry would repeat the instructions to get to the next one. I think she said something about running out the back of the house towards the barn and then... was it taking a left at the line of the fence or something? Have a look in the barn. Because that's the fence, I think, the fence that she was referring to. But again, if this was the right spot, Henry would say something. So, clearly it isn't the right spot. Is there information in the quest log? Found the house. She took the loot in secret at night in a handcart through a hole in the fence behind the house. Along a path behind the yard. So this is the back of the house. And that's the fence. So a hole in the fence. That's not necessarily a hole in the fence. That's where the fence got knocked down, probably by the soldiers. There's a bit of a track here, and that looks kind of like a hole in the fence. This is the barn. I don't think the instructions said anything about a barn. Wait, is that a cart? Hand cart. She did say she had to abandon the hand cart, but it wasn't this close to the house. You see, it turns out that this is one of the few quests of this nature where it doesn't work the same way that the other ones do. Where you get to the first point, and then Henry repeats the instructions to take you to the next one. Although this is also the only quest of this type that actually retains all of the instructions written down in the quest log. Which is something that it doesn't normally do when you're doing quests of this type. But this is how you get to the location of the buried treasure. And ironically enough, when I was actually riding here on horseback in order to start the search, I actually passed within about 10 metres of where the treasure's buried. Oh, I've gone too far. Because she came out of the yard, headed through the hole in the fence, then went along the fence next to the neighbour's barn. And that is the neighbour's barn.
I wonder what happened to the neighbour's boy. Maybe he managed to escape with his life too. Maybe.
The neighbour's boy did not escape with his life. Technically, I realise that counts as a spoiler, but I seriously doubt anybody's going to care about a side character that nobody even knew existed until I literally just mentioned it. So, yeah. She actually made it fairly far with a hand cart before running out of breath and just giving up. So where are we going? Across a field to the woods where the hand cart got stuck and she had to bury everything. So that's a field and those are the woods. You can see the instructions are pretty vague.
Oh, a stench of fire. No. I don't want to be reminded of that day.
But she wouldn't have just pushed it through the field. There's a track there. Remember, people always follow the path of least resistance. Don't make your own track when there's a track that you can follow.
This is where Svativa took the handcart onto the meadow. The inheritance can't be far.
Yep. Remember, she's an old woman pushing a handcart loaded down with, well, riches. I don't know what the treasure actually is, but it was heavy enough that she needed to load it into a handcart, and she's pushing it through the field in the middle of the night. She's not going to make it any more difficult than it needs to be for her. If there is a track, and she's lived here all her life, she'd know where the track is. If there was a track, she's going to be following it. Let's take a quick... I mean, the search area is pretty big, but I don't think she actually made it into the woods. She was still in the meadow when she was forced to abandon the cart and bury the contents. So I'm looking for an abandoned handcart. Oh, I've left the search area. I've gone too far. Well, in the interest of cutting to the chase and providing some decent instructions for any of you stuck on this particular quest, because it is a bit tricky in exactly where to go, head back up here through the meadow until you hit the fence. And there's the fence. Turn right, follow the fence. You see the scarecrow on the left-hand side? That's kind of your marker. That's where I am on the map. Just follow this fence right up to the edge of the woods. And there. There's the handcart. And that's where she buried the stuff. I'm kind of curious to see exactly what it is. See what all the fuss was about. Well, there it is. Oh, come on, game. You've made me jump through all of these hoops. And now you're making it difficult for me to actually pick it up. Oh, fuck off, game. I've had this problem before with other loot items. Especially if they're buried. Wait, there we go. Family heirloom. Some rare fabrics. Well, Mikush is a tailor. And 500 groschen. Holy shit. That's not a bad haul. Still don't know exactly what the treasure is. It's just family heirloom. It's got to be valuable, though, whatever it is. I mean, Hanko was prepared to torture his uncle and murder his cousin to get his hands on it. Well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's valuable. People have killed each other for a lot less. Hang on, are those the same two bandits I ran into on the road on the way here? Except this time I'm not in a rush and I can afford to stop and take my time. You know what that is, sunshine? Unfucking lucky. What was that? Show your skill? Request approved. You alright, love?
But
Yeah, they're dead.
Thank you.
It was nothing.
Really, thank you.
I was happy to help.
You did more than help. You're my guardian angel. Take this. I would have lost a lot if it wasn't for you. And thank you again.
5 groschen. I mean, you know, I'm not complaining, but if 5 groschen is what she can spare, she obviously needs it a lot more than I do. Right, anyway, that's my good deed for the day done. Now, back to Mikush and his wife and daughter. I wonder if we're actually going to get to see what this treasure is, or is it just forever going to remain the family heirloom? Anyway, let's clean myself up. I'm covered in blood and shit. I don't want to scare the crap out of them. And let's put this quest to bed.
I was in Merciless and followed your instructions.
And? Did you find it?
The chest was buried by the forest, exactly where you said. Next to the handcart.
My God! Thank you for everything. Vendula, Mikush, Henry has returned, and he found our inheritance.
Finally! Some good news.
Don't keep us waiting, Henry. Let's see what you have for us.
Here's everything I found.
Fabric, groschen, and our ancestor? Nothing's missing.
This fabric's as good as new. Think of all the money this will make.
Finally, fortune smiled upon us.
It surely has. I told you that once our ancestor comes back to us, everything will be like it once was. Thank you, Henry. Here's something for your efforts. If you ever feel like learning something new, Mikush here would be glad to teach you.
So he teach me to play dice, eh?
You can't learn dice. You have to have it in your blood.
That's not what I meant. He's a tailor by trade, so he can show you how to mend your clothes.
I reckon I could. Stop by, Henry. I'll find time for you.
God be with you, neighbour.
The treasure, 500 groschen, isn't nothing. I mean, I'm sitting on 80,000, so 500 is nothing to me, but you can appreciate why Hanko would have been prepared to kill for it. And of course, the cloth is extremely valuable to a tailor. But the most valuable thing was a figurine of a family ancestor. And that was honestly really surprising. I mean, I know there are cultures that have that sort of thing. The Chinese, a lot of African cultures. And the figurine itself is probably just made out of clay or carved out of wood. It's nothing, valuable in and of itself. It just has value to the people who own it because of what it represents. I just had no idea that was a thing in 15th century Bohemia. Sounds like a pagan thing to me. Sounds like the sort of thing the family would probably want to keep quiet, else they get in trouble with the church. But if anybody knows more about that sort of thing than I do, particularly with regards to 15th century Bohemia, please feel free to educate us all in the comments. Well, anyway, that's another quest put to bed. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend, and I will get around to rescuing Hans, although probably later rather than sooner. And as always, fuck Hans, he knows what he did. And as always, take care, have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time.